giving our opinion. So I mean, how hard is that?
That's extremely hard, man. You know, people be questioning people's opinions, man. I don't know.
Hey, that's cool.
Some niggas think their opinion is fat. That's the issue. Yeah, like, and that'd be the problem a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't get like that on this.
Yeah, like I'm not a EA programmer, man. You know, I haven't seen the beta, so I have so don't quote me. Yeah, don't quote me when I say something. Don't be like, oh, but didn't Trill say that? No, don't quote me, man. I don't like that. I don't like to quote.
Give it a second for people to join. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of content. I mean, I put together quite a handful of slides.
Yeah, there's a lot to go. Yeah, maybe I tell Calvin to kick rocks, man. He gonna have to wait a little bit.
And I really think the NBA screwed up. How's the game 3 the finals now on a Sunday, man? They got them playing on Monday.
That 3-day break.
They should have started the finals the day before. It should be Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. This should be the days that they're using. That's what it used to be back in the day.
Yeah, and things are different now, man. You know, see the thing about the old school? Man, it's the old school.
All right. You guys ready to get started?
Sure.
What the hell is that?
Can y'all hear my air conditioner in the background?
No.
Can you hear my Bucks fan, man?
No.
My AC down, man. You know. Don't feel like fucking Kunta Kinte in this bitch.
Welcome to the RoShow League
I got
Podcast
2 ACs
Network.
going right now.
I love how the past few episodes we just talk right over the intro.
You didn't? Did you? Hey, man, you normally cue us in though, man. You normally cue us in for the intro.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the RoShow Football Network. This is episode 24. We're going to be doing a deep dive over Madden 27. In particular, we're going to be talking about gameplay and franchise based off the opening drive presentation that was shown the other night by EA Sports. For clarification, we are not sponsored by EA Sports, so we're entitled to our own opinions, can say whatever we want, and that doesn't mean everything that we say or think is happening is what's going to be the final product. So let's be clear on that. But anyways, I'm Dark Raven 2019, the current Detroit Lions user, 6-time champ, and I'm here with my fellow hosts.
10-time champion, Trill Boy Twan. You know, I apologize for the intro, man. We didn't get cued in.
And it's your boy Ill Willie 215, the most hated, the most debated, your current Miami Dolphins user. And Raven, that was a great disclaimer you dropped.
That was a good disclaimer.
Very professional.
I ain't trying to get sued by EA or something like we had.
And also the intro got messed up too, because like I was like, "Are you guys ready?" And then I heard Willie say, "Yeah." And then I started it, and it started the song, and then it stopped, and then I had to like go back and manually restart it. And then you guys start talking about your air conditioning and boxing and all of that. But even before you joined, Willie, Trill and I were talking like, "Man, today is a really hot day." So
yeah, definitely warm as shit out there.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm very excited for this episode. There's gonna be a lot to talk about. I don't know why it's been weird with the PowerPoint recently. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about Madden 27. The cover athlete this year is Caleb Williams, current Chicago Bears quarterback.
Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman. They had to add his painted fingernails to the game. I don't know if you guys can see that. They also added
Yeah, man, Bootsy. I think it was Bootsy that was acting up about it. He's like, man, we got athletes on the cover with painted fingernails. It was some old Southern rapper. I know. I think it was Bootsy.
And I think the
Old
Madden
Southern
curse.
rapper.
The Madden curse for the Bears is going to be them leaving Chicago, coming to my state, Indiana.
Yeah,
Lots of
Indiana
politics
got
and all of that.
two teams in Indiana, man. I think I see today.
And assuming that
I don't know.
all goes through, but I think it's more a property tax issue. We don't have to get into all of that, but I think there's all kinds of stuff going there. So lots of heated opinions from both sides on that. But anyways, so the two items that we're going to be talking about today, we're first going to be going through gameplay, and I'm very excited about this. Watching the deep dive myself, assuming that everything works as advertised, there was a lot of things I think they were going to be great for the game.
Absolutely, man. This is gonna be a big skill check for a lot of users out there. I think a lot of these pick up and play guys really about to get caught, and they're gonna be drowning.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the year. This is the year, man. It's definitely gonna be a skill check.
And
Well, I think this man actually was, basically the preemptive to get you ready for this next jump. Because I told guys before with the new things that they were adding, it was going to be a bit of a skill gap for those quick and play guys, and they pushed the goalpost even further. Thank you, EA.
yeah, and like defense isn't great in current Madden, but at least from what I've seen, and I've also watched some gameplay videos as well. I really feel like defenses are much better next Madden. And now if you know what you're doing, you can set up the answer to stop any problem. So, but we'll talk about a little bit more of that as we get into things. And the first item that we're going to be talking about is going to be smart zones, and I'm very excited about this personally. So, smart zones improves zone defender awareness and reaction logic. Really, what's going to be going on here is that you have like 4 different options. If you see that over on the right, you have conservative, ultra conservative, aggressive, and ultra aggressive. And basically, these are going to help your defenders like look for like what should they be covering. So if you go more on the aggressive route, they're going to be covering more underneath routes. So you're talking about flats, drag routes, mesh concepts, things of that sorts. And you're going to go more on the conservative side. You're looking at more stopping like 7 routes, deep posts, things like that.
I think as it is, this Madden, they don't we don't have ball hawk on, but at the same time, they don't necessarily play the receiver well. Like if a receiver go into their zone, they kind of almost act like he's not there almost. The pass kind of be thrown to the DB for the DB to make a play instead of kind of reacting to his zone. At least from what I've seen or experienced.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some other things too alongside like conservative and aggressive route, but with the conservative and aggressive, I think it's gonna be very helpful using these. So if you're going against the opponent and they're just killing you with the short game, obviously you can adapt and just attack that. Or once you get closer and like the field starts shortening, you're getting closer to the goal line. I think it's going to be more likely users are going to go down to that route, being more aggressive because there's not as much space for the offense that they're going against.
Yeah.
I think they're just adding more to the game, which I like the more controls that you're trying to give us. But at the same time, it's just going to set people up for, let's just say if you want to go short field, you want to go aggressive, but you go aggressive outside. Sounds like you're going to get beat for a sling.
So I think one thing I like that they have brought up is you can set the conservative and aggressive concept not only at a team level, but you can set it at an individual player level. So you could have like one player that's like very focused on being aggressive, you have him set up to just kind of stop like a quick flat or something like that, right? Whereas you can have another player on the other side of the field, he's going to be on the more conservative side of things, trying to stop like a 7 route or a post or, a deeper concept. And I think again, if it works as advertised, being able to do that as an individual player, like setting up different players to do certain things, that gives you so much control. and because like it gives you the ability to stop certain like concepts.
Hmm. Yeah, and shit, like if you have like a shutdown corner, you could almost just say, like, "Hey, man, I want you on the line on the best receiver all game. We're just gonna put you on aggressive and let you work, and then everybody else on the back end could do whatever you feel that whatever you see fit." But I think it's gonna be a testing it around, seeing what you like best. Because I feel like there's gonna be a meta eventually. There's gonna be a meta. Everybody's gonna do the same thing. So I guess it's just about finding what works.
Yeah, and especially too, like it's going to depend on your team, right? If you have a good pass rush, you're more likely going to probably call more aggressive concepts because the quarterback's going to have to get the ball out faster. So it's going to really depend. But aside from the conservative and aggressive, there are some other things, like I said, that they have added. So the first of these is called look for work, and basically what it is when a defender's zone clears out, he does not just stand there, just guarding grass or anything like that. He starts looking for the next like threat, and he's kind of working towards the help coverage. So like in previous Maddens, a player would just be kind of standing there, playing with grass in the outfield, basically. But now
Yeah.
they're going to react and actually like jump onto a certain route that they see is going to be like, it may not be their zone necessarily, but they're more likely to jump in and kind of defend that. And I did see that like in some of the gameplay videos I watched, and it did seem to be working actually pretty well. So I am excited for that.
Yeah, I'm tired of my DBs. If there's nobody there, just standing there, it's like a wasted player almost. I feel like we just need people to start playing I guess more human to the fact that all right, there's nobody in my zone. Let me look for something. Let me
Yeah,
creep out of my zone a little bit and look for something that's gonna be heading my way.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I just hope, like every Madden, I would say for the last two, we've been having the hope that defense, like, yeah, defense is going to be better, this, that, and the third. Now, this really sounds like they finally figured it out. So I'm hoping this really, really brings defense back. Of course, as the game goes on, like Trill said, the metas are going to start coming out, and there's going to be ways to beat defenses or make guys not cover certain zones a certain way. But until then, I think we'll start seeing, a lot more closer, like a lot more lower scoring games from certain users.
yeah,
Hey, you
for
got
sure.
any names on them certain users?
Okay, Fed.
Not really, not nobody in particular. I mean, I just think that games are going to be like the closer skilled users. They're not going to probably have, and if they're good at defense, they're not going to have 40-point outputs. They may end up having a 21-17 type game, what my brother would call boring. When he tuned into the Ravens versus the Giants, he said the game was boring, so he turned it off. But I just say he didn't appreciate good defense.
Yeah, man. He saying there's no basketball teams out there, man. He saying watching that.
And kind of playing out to looking for work. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. It's just maybe all corporate talk, but they did make a point of emphasis talking about red zone awareness, where basically it, like improves the zone spacing near the goal line. Because like I said earlier, the field's going to shrink and the windows of throw are going to get tighter. And I guess like they're basically just saying that AI players are supposed to adapt more to that concept and kind of be more self aware of like where they're at on the field. But I that like I said, that might just be kind of like the language you throw in you know, the case of the game. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
Yeah, man. But this is EA after all. So I like what they're saying though. Like, man, this is one of those years which like I really like what they talking about. But I gotta see it in action at this point. That's what I need. I need to see it in action.
Yep. So continuing on with defense, the next item that we're going to talk about is called plaster logic. And basically what this is after a play breaks down and the quarterback's starting to leave the pocket, in previous Maddens, defenders would just kind of be standing there, not reacting to really what's going on in the play. Well, that changes this year. And you had different settings you can do, but basically what it is you can like set your defenders. You can have the option to just keep them stay in their zones. You can go conservative and basically backside zone defenders will abandon their zones and attach the nearest receiver when the quarterback leaves the pocket or the timer hits a certain amount of time. This helps prevent like easy scrambling drill throws without completely abandoning, what you're doing on defense. Or you can set the setting to aggressive, and what happens on aggressive is all zone defenders will lock onto this nearest receiver once that plaster concept triggers, and this will give you like pretty much man coverage all across the board once the play is extending, and then the quarterback is on the run. So you can kind of see it going on in the screenshots I have right here. So the bottom is like pre-snap. You can see it's a Tampa 2 defense. And typically, like if that slot receiver was to run like a post, he could get over top of that linebacker, that Mike, and easy touchdown, right? But in this play right here, after Lawrence is going on the run and all of that, you can see that Mike is picked up and he's now guarding that slot receiver, which is the Y up top, and he's basically continuing on with that play. And you kind of see that going across the board as well as you see your flat defenders coming down on the running back. The other linebacker, he's like working towards and moving with the end route, the dig route X, and then obviously B, that you can see that safety's dropping down. And he's starting to come down to that player as well. And then with the plaster, you also have a couple of different options for like when it happens. So there's out of pocket and time. And this will mean the plaster concept only triggers when the quarterback leaves the pocket and like the timer has expired. This is the most safe option. You can set the out of pocket. The plaster triggers as soon as the quarterback leaves the pocket. Or you can set it to time. Plaster triggers after a set amount of time, even if the quarterback is still in the pocket. So they're really giving you a lot of customization. It's really up to you how you want to use this. So what's your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, I love the ability to have like all these new changes that they had. They customize the defense now because it's really been a offensive Madden the past couple Maddens been straight offense. So, I appreciate them showing love. Especially like scrambling quarterbacks, it's definitely difficult to handle scrambling quarterbacks once they get out the pocket because a lot of the zone guys just stand there, not doing a damn thing. And then all it takes is one user playmaker up the field, and man, that's a crib call almost. So all the new settings that they have now, you don't even got to be out the pocket. You can set it to a timer. It's just like I like the customization that they're adding to it. It gives you a new layer on defense.
About you, Willie, you have any thoughts?
No, I mean it's the same thing. I agree. Same thing. Just like I like the logic that they're having. It's not if it works.
No, if it works, that's the key though, man. They got to put like an asterisk if it works, as they say.
I see
Like,
it. I feel like I've seen it in some of the gameplay I've watched. I'm really interested how it's going to work with the customization and all that. Me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe starting off with it just triggering once like the quarterback is leaving or escaping the pocket, because I don't know really how like my pass rush is going to be and things of that nature, and I'd be afraid to say like, if I set it on time, like a certain amount of time, that maybe like it'll trigger too early or too soon, or I mean it could even be too late, and that could leave like a easy underneath or out wide open or something like that. So definitely gonna have to do a little bit of playing around, but I think me personally I'm leaning towards just starting out the gates of out of pocket. But I probably will put it on aggressive though, so once it does start, like I'd rather them just like fully commit to it.
Yeah, man. I see, man. I need a beta code, man. Man, need to hook me up. I need a beta code so I can see what I'm working with. Whoever ends up getting beta codes, man. Hey, stream that. I don't know if are you able to stream beta?
No, you're not.
Damn, man.
Hey,
man, we'll figure it out, man. Send some clips, man. You can send some clips.
We'll black out the watermarks.
Yeah, man. I'll make sure the ID you won't get ID, man. Send some clip. I just want to see.
So Spaz said, I think games are going to be lower scoring if you really have to green catches too. We'll talk about that later. You all aren't afraid of the fact that if all these changes are added, there's going to be huge bugs to all the coding changes. I mean, that could be the concept, and I'm sure there are going to be bugs at the gate. I know at least with our franchise, we do wait a couple weeks, and that seems to kind of help us get away from some of those like day one bugs. But I think the fact that like and they talked about this again. We just gotta take it for their word. They kind of looked at it as like Last Man, this man as like a 2-year project. And the fact they didn't try to rush us all in the last Madden and really took their time spreading it across 2 years gives me a little bit of hope. But again, we're just gonna have to kind of see what actually ends up transpiring.
Yeah, I gotta see, man. It's all hearsay at this point, man. They speaking facts. They speaking like some good shit in my ear, but I gotta see it, man. That's how EA gets you.
Whisper is what you want to hear.
Yeah, they whispering what I want to hear, man. But I gotta. Hey, man, that sound good on paper, but I gotta see it.
Yeah, trying to take you home from the bar.
Hey, man, they're gonna try to slip something in my drink, man. I gotta protect myself.
Yeah.
So up next, continuing our discussion about gameplay and defense in particular, they added a lot of new stuff in regards to coverage adjustments, and I'm really excited about this. So they gave you a couple of different options for roll coverages. So basically, you could call coverage with a purpose. So you could set it the fastest. Shade the defense towards the offense's fastest player. You could shade it to a certain side of the field, the boundary. Highest overall. You could set it to a certain player on the opposing team's depth chart, which I really like that. So say some you're going to get somebody in their true best wide receiver to put a wide receiver 2. You could kind of set it to be that specific player on that depth chart. There's also more man coverage answers this year. So if you're going against a particular formation, you can kind of set different things. So say if you're going against a stacked formation, you could set it to a triangle. So basically you'd be in a cover 2 man, 3 defenders cover 2 stacked receivers. The safety bracket's a deeper threat, or the route that breaks to his side. And there's just all kinds of different things without going too deep into details. But I think the fact that we have all these options, this is going to
Says
be
a lot.
it's going to be a big comp check for sure. People actually going into the details and playing around in the weeds and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I think the big thing is just being able to set certain zone coverages and certain defenses to go against specific offensive formations. Being able to attack a bunch formation in a certain way that you want to, that makes a big difference. I mean, and there's a lot of match coverage checks. So would you have to say something, True?
Well, I was just gonna say, cause bunch and tight, those type of formations kill man. So, now that we have adjustments towards it now, like how in real life, I mean, got people that might pass on off, they might run a triangle type of look. I mean, I appreciate that they're kind of going into detail on the defensive side of the ball, things that you can do. So I can appreciate at least on what they're saying, man. I feel like I gotta keep saying it, at least what they're saying. I appreciate
That
it.
asterisk.
Yeah, I gotta keep saying it. Car said the ebook sellers about to make bank. Hey, he not capping, man. He said, hey, whoever got the ebooks about to make some bank.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to get back to making yours.
Man, I never had an ebook. What you talking about? I never had no ebook.
Let your followers tell it.
Hey, man, they can say whatever they want to say, man. I don't got no ebook.
But I mean, just especially the match coverage checks, just having the different options to use them, whether it be a cover 3 match, quarters, palms, cover 6, whatever. Just having all these different options, whether it be a box concept, skate, triangle, like you brought up. There's all kinds of different ways you could go with this, and it really puts the power in your hands.
But this is what I love though, man. Experimenting, man. That's what I like. A Madden wise, man. Experimenting with something different instead of kind of staying with what everyone else is doing, and then fuck it, man. Let me see how this looks on this or that. Finding different ways to. This is different. I like that, man. I like all the new shit they're adding, so I can really get in the lab and really just see what I like and what I don't like.
I'd be interested to see how the roll coverages are going to work as well, because I could see that being something that comes really into play. Say if it's a late game situation, final drive, you might pull up on those roll coverage concepts and kind of target a specific wide receiver on the other team. say if you're going against like the Cowboys and CD Lamb's been killing you, but you really got to shut them down for this drive. Like I don't know, like there's just so many different options. Can't stress that enough.
Oh yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And I appreciate it.
So up next, moving over to the offensive side of the things. Oh no, I forgot we had this still as well. I'm kind of excited about this. So I guess the best way I could describe wide receiver jostling is basically higher rated overall DBs. You're going to be a little bit more aggressive and sticking to the wide receiver. So previously, like you could have like a high overall corner, but they'd still get beat. You know, if the other receiver was faster than them. You know, things of that nature. But they really updated and enhanced things where those DBs are going to play a lot more physical. An example that they kind of used was like Darrelle Revis, right? Like Darrelle Revis wasn't necessarily always the fastest corner, but he knew how to like stick with the wide receiver by kind of being like that physical press type corner. And like from what I've seen, based on like the way some of these DBs have really gone against the different releases of wide receivers and like you know sticking with them, like it does seem to actually be working actually really well from what I've seen online.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, I bring back corners that don't have 95, 96 speed. I want a lockdown corner, but I don't. It's almost like he has to be in the mid 90s speed wise to fucking have an impact on the game. So, I can appreciate what they're looking for, trying to allow users to have like low 90s speed, maybe even high 80s speed, still able to make a play against some of these receivers. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. I mean, it'll be really realistic now. So that means, for guys who have like Raven said, in comparison to somebody like Darrell Reeves who wasn't the speediest DB. I mean, yeah, now they actually matter and can cover better and won't just be getting beat all the time. I mean, I'm pretty sure they still get beat at times, but be less frequent.
Yeah, and like kind of going off of this, like press looks so crisp and smooth this Madden. Like it actually like it looks like a legitimate like real life press. Like you would see like I'm not hoping it will evolve to kind of what we had a few minutes ago. Trill, no, I'm talking about where you could instantly like knock down a wide receiver at the line of scrimmage. I don't want anything at that
Man,
level,
tell them
but seeing
get their release up, man.
but seeing like an actual like press on the outside where that DB like he might be at 91 speed, but like he has a high press, like what I mean, like I'm here for that. I
You're
really
not
want to see
getting
that.
beat off the line every time because
Yeah,
J-Mo doesn't have high release, but you can't press him. If you can have 99 press, but you can't press J-Mo as of right now, you can't do
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's gonna be, if it works, it's gonna be interesting to see how it happens, especially with gnarly. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this safety's fast. Let me just move him in the corner." You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's gonna be really interesting and make some of those other attributes actually matter this year.
Yeah, man, I'm just rubbing my hands, man. Like, man, he ain't cooking right now. I gotta see the final product first, but man, the recipe's looking crazy.
It all sounds good
Yeah, man, that
until it
recipe
don't
looking
work.
crazy, man.
Until it don't work, it don't
Smelling good
matter.
from the other room.
Yeah, it smell good. Like, what you cooking
Yeah.
over there, man? It smell real
Mhm.
good.
All right. So moving on next, we had the battle in the trenches. And I'm kind of interested to see how this is all going to play out. So there's a couple things that they added. I don't know truly O line logic is going to be better this year. They didn't really necessarily say that. I feel like they've said that every year for the last few Maddens. Like, oh, their awareness and logic is so much better. Like that corporate talk. It has been
Yeah.
improved recently. We'll see what happens. But I am excited to see kind of like in the photo on the left, you're actually seeing players go for more cut blocks, in the goal line situations and kind of being more aware of that. Kind of like that more big boy power football. And then on the right, what we have going on, so they added a new mechanic to where when you're running a quarterback sneak, that there's now going to be a meter. And so what this meter is going to be determined by your green window or like your yellow. Because on Madden, I saw like red, yellow, green. Like late, early, or slightly early, perfect. And
Mhm.
this is going to be determined by a couple of things. One, it's going to be determined by your interior offensive linemen and their ratings. Two, it's going to depend on who you have at quarterback. Three, it's going to depend on the look at you're going against defense. So if you're going against like a goal line formation, your green meter is going to be much smaller. And another thing I'm really excited about is it's also gonna matter what situation you're in. So like it's gonna be much faster in all Madden, so higher difficulties are gonna make it harder. And our league plays in all Madden, so we'll see how that's gonna be. Home field advantage. So if you're a road team, your meter is gonna be even shorter because you can get that crowd noise and all that going on. And then it's also gonna matter if it's like you know are we talking 4th and 1? It's a higher pressure situation, or if it's going to be like first down, it's probably going to give you a bigger green meter. And then it's also going to take into account, like, you know, if this is like a late game, say, final 2 minutes, like your window is probably going to be a little bit shorter because it's just like that late game pressure. So there's a lot going on here. Um,
Mhm.
it kind of looks easy for the people I did see green it, but again, I'm sure what I've seen is probably being played at like a lower difficulty than we play on. And also there was just like random quarterback sneaks. So I'll be interested to see how it's gonna be like once we're actually playing in the franchise. And we're going through all the different game scenarios, playing on all Madden, and yeah. And also they did add the
Yeah,
touch push as well.
yeah, man. Let's get the league band going, man. Let's get the league band.
Man
Get
touch
that.
push.
Yeah, man. They did an owners meeting, man. They was trying to ban it, so we could do a league meeting too. We could do a league vote.
What do you guys feel about the
Yeah,
QB sneak meter? It makes it not as automatic as it could be at times before.
because normally it's actually I wouldn't say it's necessarily automatic, depending on how you run your
Yeah, I've
defense.
stopped it a lot.
So yeah, it's not necessarily automatic. I know it's probably automatic to some people, but each its own. But I like it, man. It's more of a skill check. Gotta be lined up right. And I mean, shit, over you can even fake the QB sneak and run like a pitch or something like that. So it's just it's a chess game, man. I'm gonna stack the box. Everybody's inside for the sneak, then let me hit him with a pitch or something. So I can appreciate what they're going for with this, and I gotta see it once. I gotta see how it's implemented because it could be cheesy or it could be ass.
Yeah,
But I mean, it sounds good though, so
yeah.
you know,
It's
I'm
gonna come down to that meter.
yeah, I want to see what I want to see what it looked like.
Yeah,
That's why I need that beta.
especially if it's like a 4-1 playoff game, you're on the road. How big is your green meter going to be? Is it going to be super small? Like I don't know. Like definitely be interested to see how that works. And another thing that they added as well on the outside part of the trenches is they added in chip blocking this year. So now you could actually set a tight end. You could have him chip an edge before he goes out for his route because we see that in real life all the time. Like
Oh
teams will
yeah,
do that against like a Micah Parsons or something like that. So
that could have lucky been in the game though.
yeah, they could have had that in
Yeah,
like Madden 14 or 25, whatever.
yeah, something to fucking protect my tackles from getting murdered.
Yeah, so it's distinctly different from just regular block and release. Like they'll actually just do a chip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the chip that they technically do now, it's not even really a chip. They straight up blocking for like 3 seconds and then finally decide they want to go on their route. It's messing the timing of the play up.
And I feel like a lot of times too is, and I'm very interested to see how this works. Is sometimes like when you do a block and release, the tackle will just be not
Or the
self-aware,
tackle be fucking stupid. And he like, oh shit, he
not
said
pick
he
him
got
up.
him. Yeah, because
Yeah,
he's like, oh man, the tight end got him. They be doing some stupid shit. So yeah, I like that, man. It's a simple mechanic, but it's something that should be in the game though.
yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it, honestly.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm liking what they's talking about.
continuing on with like the battle in the trenches, they also added more options on the defensive side of things. So they added a new coaching adjustment called gap integrity, and this basically tells you how strict you want your defenders to play to their assigned or run fits. So you have two options. You can set them on conservative or aggressive. Conservative tells the defenders to shed toward their, regularly assigned gap and maintain their defensive structure. You may give up fewer explosive runs, but you're also less likely to get those like big, tackle for loss plays outside of your assignment. Or you can set it to aggressive, and that gives defenders like more freedom to go in any direction that they see fit. And that can create those tackles for losses. So I'll be interested to see how that actually works. I think there is a balance option, um, but I don't know. I don't know how that's exactly going to work. And they also added defensive aggression, which basically controls how fast and aggressive your defense is going to play against the run as a whole. So if you set a conservative, that's going to have linebackers be slowly playing to run, be more like cautious and prepared for like a play action, and kind of like avoid some of those more riskier defensive plays. Or you can set to aggressive, and that's going to cause them to play a little bit more faster downhill, and they're going to attack the run hard and just look for like that chance again of like making those big wins, those tackles for losses. But on the other side of things, you're also more likely to give up a bigger play, buying a play action, things of that nature.
Oh, man, that's gonna be a massive skill check right there, man. Hit you with a couple 20-yard runs, then you go aggressive, man. Hit you with that play action, man. It's gonna be a crazy skill check. It's gonna be a chess game, man. I like the chess game. I can like this feature and a lot of the other features is gonna be a skill check in how locked in are you? How are you really? Like, are you really paying attention to what's going on in this game?
Yeah, because like say you're going against a run heavy user like me or Mike, you might be more likely to come out the gates aggressive. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of game planning, and it's a cat and mouse game. So like you said.
yeah, yeah. Then you hit him with that play action, hit him with that bomb. Just it's more of a chess game now. Just trying to seeing what you're willing to give up.
So up next we have home field advantage. So this is kind of in the game now, but they brought it back in a big way. So now, if you see in the top left, there's like a decibel meter, and this is kind of related to what's the college football meter called? Stadium pulse? Is that what it is?
Stadium pulse, yeah,
So it's
stadium
kind of
pulse.
like that. So like once that decibel gets super high, the screen is going to shake, and it's going to be harder to get communications off and all of that. And they also like changed it to where it's going to adapt based off like what time of the year the game's ongoing. So if it's like a game in September, like yeah, like it could happen. Stadium can get loud. But if you're playing like at Arrowhead in January, the place is going to be jumping. Like it's going to get extremely loud. It's going to make it hard to get some of those plays called. You're not going to be able to get all your hot routes. Your screen's going to be shaking a little bit. But this is also going to play, and we'll talk about it a little bit in a second. They added composure that they had in college football to Madden. It's not as I don't know as big
It's not as
swingy as. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not as
The highs and it's not as big
yeah, the highs
swinging.
is as bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So like your player can like have like big highs after making a big play, but they're less likely to lose some of that big composure and after like a bad play because they're pros, right? So like they
Yeah.
have a better tendency of like moving on to the next play. But what this composure is going to do is it's basically going to make it to where like when your player is very hot, they're going to have some higher ratings, be more likely to win off a press and things of that nature. But if the ratings are cold, you know they might not run as good as a route. They might drop a pass, stuff like that. So I'll be interested to see how that's going to be. I think this is going to make getting a higher overall seed in the playoffs matter a lot more because if I got to go play Trill in New York, or New Jersey, whatever, but I got to deal with that shaking screen and all that. It's going to make it a little bit harder as the road team.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's technically still in the game now, but they definitely took it back. This man, they took it back. So now I'm glad they trying to bringing more of that home field advantage back.
And not that
that makes
that
these
game
games
day
matter.
BS where random stuff would happen.
Oh yeah, not like the momentum shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
the
is
moment. I mean,
regular home field stuff.
I get the premise. Like, I get the premise of the momentum, what they was trying to do, but it went off the rails at the same time. Like some of the shit they was giving boost to, when it went off the rails.
And this is kind of what we are talking about, the hot and cold. So when players get hot, they perform better and can maintain access to their X Factor abilities. So that's a big thing, is for you to have access to your X Factor abilities, you cannot let your player go cold. When they go cold, their performance will dip, and certain X Factor abilities can temporarily shut off until that player settles back in.
I'm curious on, like, if you were a receiver and you haven't gotten the ball, is your composure going to naturally go down? I'm curious about something like that. Like an X Factor receiver, you not getting the ball, and maybe he's a hothead or something. Like, is his composure going to be like? Is his composure going to go down from his targets? I'm curious on how, if that's his thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, especially, and we'll talk about some later, but the persona engine that they're going in their second year of, like, I don't know if that's gonna play towards like the gameplay. That'd be really interesting to see, or if it's just gonna be based off like the player winning like certain routes, or things in that nature, quarterback throwing the pick, or dropping the ball, fumbles, kind of things they have listed, but I don't know. And I'm wondering too, like, say if like you miss a field goal early in the game, if your kicker gets a little less composed, is that gonna like shorten his meter? Is it gonna make it harder to kick? Like, I wonder how that's gonna work.
I mean, that would make sense realistically. Like, if you miss a kick or extra point or something, naturally your kicker's gonna lose his composure. It's gonna cause him his meter. I mean, that's what I would think. But this is EA we talking about, so we will see.
So up next, something that they added to the game this year is dynamic weather. And basically what it is the weather is going to be more authentic to both the locations and the time of the year if the games are actually being played. And the weather can change within the game. So like you can kind of see the screenshots here, like the game can start off with just a couple flurries, and that snow slowly starts to build up. Kind of like the real life last year's AFC Championship game. By the end of the game, that snow is actually packing on a little bit. Got a couple, it's just more scattered, coming down heavy. And then this is gonna be like visual as well, but it's also gonna like actually disturb how players interact. So like as the game starts more snowing, you're more likely to have players slip, and this isn't just for snow either. This is the same concept for rain. And you can see games as it starts to downpour heavy, you're gonna see the field get a lot more muddier. And we kind of talked about this beforehand, and Trill's been bringing this up. Like once we kind of got a whiff of something like this happening, we, I don't think they are, but I wish that they would just give us like a weather report. Like, just tell me there's going to be a 60% chance of rain so I can take that into account.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't like now you could just load up to a game and maybe it's a heavy rain, or like when you get closer to winter time and all of a sudden it's a snow game without no warning. And I mean, I appreciate them trying to do the dynamic weather, but at the same time, I need a report on like a percentage of chance of it's gonna rain or if it's gonna snow. I don't like the fact that it's just more random and I don't know.
Karkar said in NCAA they do.
Oh
So,
damn, he said they give a weather report, man. See, man, he got the beta. That's why he's saying that, man.
so
I'm
now,
not good enough to get a beta, so.
and they tell you the chance of precipitation. That's interesting. So, all right, so that is good because I know that's like the big question mark, and I didn't see in any of the articles I read or anything like, like, and I'm wondering like how accurate it's gonna be, but like, yeah, you tell me
What
there's a
you mean how
70% chance of
accurate,
snow,
man? What
I'm
this
gonna take that
is?
into account. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I appreciate them having that. Hopefully they transfer it over to Madden and not just keep it college. But
That'd be kind of
I would assume they're gonna. I would assume they're gonna fucking transfer it.
Yeah, it seems like a two-way street this year from everything for the most part. So,
Hmm.
what's your
Yeah, but
thoughts,
yeah, that's
Willie?
all I need.
How you feel about this?
No, I like it because it's going to help with you making your game plans for that week. Because it's going to matter. So, it's I just like how they're just trying to get more and more realistic with the game.
I'm interested to see how it's going to be too come playoff time. So you got a game in New England, game in Baltimore, like Philly,
Yeah,
whatever. Like you know, we
it's
kind
it's nice to know it's going to snow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know we kind of
yeah.
talked about this, Madden. I think there's only been one game, and that was you and Jeff Trill. But like, I would like to see, like you get to play in Buffalo in a playoff game. I want to see it snow. I want to see it come down heavy. You know what I mean? Like, that's just realistic. We've seen that in real life before. So,
Absolutely.
like, I always think of like that Bengals Bills playoff game a couple years ago, like when it was coming down pretty heavy.
Hmm. The Patriots and the Broncos. It went from a nice calm game, and next thing you know, it's a blizzard,
And we've seen
and
blizzard
nobody
games
could
in
throw.
regular season before too. I mean, like this was I can't remember what season it was. I want to say like 2013, 2014 or something like that. But it was like Lions and Eagles in Philadelphia. I'm sure you know what game I'm talking about, Willie. I just remember Sean McCoy just having a bunch of snow on his face mask and
Hmm. He went off.
yeah. And I want to
Like,
see how this is going to affect players.
I mean, I
I
think
mean,
it's
it
probably
takes some
gonna
now.
affect them. I think it's gonna affect them the same as it has been now. It just,
Right.
yeah, I think it's gonna be the same.
But Raven, check our chat.
Uh, let's see if I can.
You keep talking about our chat, man. I know you see what's going on in the fucking locker room, man.
Man, listen, I was just waiting for one of y'all to say something.
I know
I
niggas see
figured
what's
eye
going
on
on in
it.
the locker room right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That boy CJ, wow, for saying that. I ain't gonna-
I love the energy.
He wild.
Yeah, I love the energy, man.
Man, I know he mad. And I
Yeah,
and I can I understand the frustration. I understand it. See, I can't repeat what he said, on the airways. I can't
right, but
repeat it,
yeah,
but people in the league, y'all know what he said, man.
yeah. We got two of the right ones right now, though. I'd say
Oh
that
yeah, we got definitely.
two of the right ones
And so
because
here's
they
what
they
the.
about to have the ball.
Well, I play Todd at 9:30, so
Oh, you do?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, then there we go. That's a conflict of schedule. Well, then I guess we got to get through this one.
Is your game a stream game?
Yes, sir.
Man, of course it's a stream game, man. Calvin and Willie, man, that's prime time. That's prime TV right there, man.
How about we make it not a stream game? Could you play him while we're on the pod, or is that too much work for you? You gotta be
I can
focused.
play him.
You
I
gotta
can
be
play him while we're on the pod.
you gotta be locked in.
Yeah, he gotta lock in though, man.
Yeah, this is a major game. These division games between me and Calvin are big.
All right, man, y'all not even beefing no more, man. It don't matter, man.
I mean, listen, man. He's been keeping his cool, shall I say?
Man, whatever, man. Y'all just gonna dap up after the game,
And then he said,
and
wait, he
I've
said,
had no reason to fire off on him.
he's
why would he
gonna dap
say,
up, be like, good shit. I hope you have a good rest of your season, man. Them niggas
No,
all
fuck
buddy
his
buddy,
season.
man.
I
Y'all,
fuck his
man.
season.
Nah,
I
man. Y'all went
need.
yeah,
commercial on me, man.
why would he say he could start as late as 10, but then say not gonna hold you waiting an extra 45 minutes doesn't sound good at all to me. I get that.
Hey, hey, man. I don't know. I don't know,
They went all
man.
commercial on us, man. It's supposed to be a rivalry. They all cool and shit.
Man,
Hey, man, it is a rivalry.
tell Tom you'll kick off at 9, Willie. We're on the pod right now. You kick off at 9.
You know, he knows that. He knows be on the pod.
He probably listening
Yeah.
right now.
He was talking about playing early, and I asked him how early, and he said 8:40. Like, and this was at 8 o'clock, and I'm thinking about to say like we could play now or something. Like, 8:40 is just same as 9 o'clock, but whatever.
Yeah. All right, man. I guess we gotta keep trucking along, man.
Yep.
um, so up next is timing-based catching. I'm sure everybody's seen this. I mean, as it's described, it's obviously going to matter rating, situation, all that. Not confirmed. Obviously, going to talk about it, but I would say there's probably going to be a good chance that this is going to probably be turned off for a lead if we're able to set it up as a lead option. I don't know if it'll be a lead option or if it's just going to be individual based. If it's individual based, then and there's nothing we can do about it, I guess, unless we were to create a rule about it. Me personally, even if it is individual based, I mean, I might try it a little bit, but I'm honestly probably going to keep it off and just keep playing the way I've been playing.
I think that shit need to be on, man. And man, where's CJ at, man? Fucking ball hawk is off, man. Man, I'm tired of niggas that doing jump balls, doing some brain dead jump balls, and be like, oh, my niggas just gonna get it because they know ball hawk is off, man. You gotta make it some type of skill to just throwing jump
That's
balls all
fair.
game.
What's wrong with the jump ball?
There's nothing wrong with it, but you gotta time that bitch. That's what I'm saying. Because
Oh, okay.
there's no ball hawk on, so niggas could just blindly throw a fucking jump ball and get rewarded for it because it's like a 60-40.
I think the fear,
Mhm.
and I've already had a couple people bring this up to me, is there's some people, you guys are going to probably laugh when I say this, they're afraid people are going to buy Zens and use them for Madden.
I don't know which nigga in this league would want to do that. Buy his end just to get whooped on, man. I mean, you do that. Waste your money if you want to, man. Do that.
I don't even know if if it would work for Madden, because I feel like it's just going to be so different.
It's different. It's way different.
Because like at 2K, when you use it, you're using it for like your player. You know what I mean? You got set animations, but this is going to be so variable based. Like I don't. That's the best way I could put it.
I don't think it's. I
It's not
mean, maybe
applicable.
they program it some type of way or something. I don't know. I just know if any Roll League niggas uses Zen, man, they still gonna get whooped on. So they waste waste their paycheck on that shit if they want to. You said, Rose said, you take advantage of this. What?
I
You
think he's talking about
said
the
you take
Zens.
the Zen. I don't fucking use the Zen. What are you talking about?
You having one for 2K.
I know fucking Zen, man.
But no, he's talking about Ballhawk being off, I think, actually.
What? What jump? How many jump balls you see me fucking throwing? Talking about I take advantage of it. I don't throw jump balls up.
Maybe the Jody
I don't
wants
gotta
some moon
scoop.
balls.
Yeah, man. I don't scoop that low, man, to do jump balls all game, man. I don't do that. You know, and I mean that's just people taking advantage of no ball hawk. But I'm saying as a defensive minded user, I would appreciate, the offense having to use their mind every once in a while, man. That's all.
I think you kind of have me going towards what you and Carter said about Ballhawk. I think it would be interesting to have it on. Make it user based. And like I've already seen people drop wide open passes because they mistimed it. It's gonna be like it's another
It's a
wrinkle to the
skill
game.
check, man. It's a skill check. That's what it
Also,
is.
that's another thing too. Like Kakar said, like the meters for both sides of the ball. Like corners also have the meter, and it depends on like how they're gonna play the ball as well. So it's gonna be an interesting conversation this offseason.
I don't think it's gonna be one, man. I already see where it's going.
But I think it's gonna be individual based. I don't think there's gonna be a lead option for the catching. I don't know. We'll see though, because they have it for kicking. So,
But I mean, because technically, like ball hawking out other shit, I know it's league wide where you could have it enabled or not, but it's probably gonna be something like that for this too, where you can enable it league wide to be on or off. That would be my assumption.
I would say I lean towards the direction of having it on, but I gotta play with it first myself.
Yeah, he over there leaning, man. I'm running, man. See, man, he over there playing with his food. He don't know what he want, man. I'm running to that shit, man. Could turn that shit on, man.
You got any thoughts, Willie?
I'm sorry, I was over here. I'm trying to get prepped for my game.
You good,
Yeah,
man? Get ready for that game.
hyping his players up and whatnot. You know,
Yeah,
coach gotta give his speech.
give them their pills.
We won't do.
CJ said people like me just gonna buy his in and get paper cash every
And
time.
still get whooped, man. Man, CJ still gonna get whooped on, man. You know, I don't know what he need perfect base. I don't even what he need time base catching on. He just run an RPO fade, man. Ain't that much to it.
All right. This next item, honestly, is probably the biggest thing I'm excited about. Macro adjustments. So, the way that this works is you create up to 20 on both offense and defense. However, you go into games with only 10 on each side of the ball. And what it is you'll create a macro. And what that's going to be is you're going to set certain different defensive adjustments. So, like, say, pitching the defensive line, showing the blitz, shading outside, whatever you want to do, like your heart's desire, Can be a lot more complex than that. And basically, what you'll set it to be, where you would hit, like, the left trigger, and you have a selection of buttons to click, from your D-pad or like A, B, Y, X, whatever. And say like I would hit Y, it's gonna run that macro. All those adjustments are gonna go into play at once. Now, this could be, a double-edged sword. However, I'm excited about it because now I can like stuff that would take me like a full like 5 seconds in the play clock to get set up. I can do with one button. But I'm also scared that this might open the doors to there being worse cheese.
Yeah, it helps like with people that quick hike, like people who might run no huddle or start or quick hike the ball. Like this macro adjustment's kind of huge for that. Like I could still get my adjustments off in time if I just gotta press a button. But I know that some niggas might hop on the tube and be like, man, what's the best adjustments in the game? And let me put that in one of my macros and just fucking spam that shit. I know how niggas get down.
They also made it to where like you could choose your macro before you come out in your play. So you can see in that big photo to the left, like like kind of like where you'd be like choosing the scent and all that. You can also go ahead and like choose a macro and have all of that pre-built, or you could call it, as you can see like in the bottom right photo, where you're calling that like as you were doing a regular audible or adjustment. So I like that you could come out run that macro as you're coming onto your play, because that sets up your defense the way you already want, rather than wait for players to move and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Like 10 on each side of the ball, man. It's like, man, that's what I mean by experimenting on what you like for your adjustments. It's like it's so much that you could go off of with the new features and adjustments that they added. There's so much going on. It's like, man, it's gonna be fun, man. If EA is actually saying what they saying, if they cooking the way I think they cooking, you know, I'm ready for it.
And there's also just like some generic custom adjustments that you can go ahead and call. So you get this for both offense and defense as general adjustments. So in offense, you could call it a macro, or like not necessarily a macro, but one of these generic general custom adjustments, and like all verts, all slants, quick mesh, outs, zigs,
Mhm.
anything like that. In defense, you could be like play the screen, burn the house, basically, set to engage A, whatever. So I think it is good. And this, will help some of the people that maybe don't want to dig deep into the macros, but it could also be good, say, like, if I'm coming out and be like, oh, I know, so and so is about to run a screen out of this formation, and I'm just gonna like set my defense and be like, just play the screen. This kind of makes me think of a kind of like, yeah, it affects your play specifically what defenders are gonna react and run. But it makes me think of kind of like 2K, like if you call a timeout, like when you're playing like regular head to head or whatever, and you can set your players to be like no threes, you know what I mean? Like play the perimeter, no free
Yeah.
ball. And that's kind of what it makes me think of.
Yeah. I think so too. Since you can have 10 of them, you could be like, this one I want to have a macro
So
that
this is
focuses on maybe the short game. Well, I know you're talking about custom adjustments, but
Yeah, so you have your macros and you have this. They both exist.
yeah, yeah. They both out there. But this gonna be a skill check. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for it, man. You don't understand. If they cooking, I'm ready. But I hear what you're saying with the 2K reference.
Yeah, that's what made me think of immediately. You want to
Yeah.
cover this one, Trill? You're the one I brought up originally.
With the formation shifts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't did they confirm it for Madden?
Yeah, it is in Madden.
Okay. So formation shifts, there's some users out there that I thought about when I heard that this was a thing. So formation shifts is just picking your play, but then you can also pick a shift within that base play. So once your guys go out the huddle, once they break the huddle, I think they're gonna go into the base formation, and then they're gonna immediately switch to the shift to whatever that shift that you call. So I think it's just gonna get the defense off guard. How I see it, it's like you show one thing when you do the pre-play, like it'll be like maybe tight end or something. Like that's what it shows from the defensive side. You see that, and then they do a shift, and then next thing you know, they're running like what's a random formation, like trips, just a trips Y flex or something like that. Like just instantly go into that, you're gonna catch the defense off guard.
Yeah,
So, I
same
think it's another
personnel.
skill check. You got a whole different personnel that you not expecting to see. So it's gonna be another skill check, and it's like a chess game. It's cat and mouse. Like, man, it's gonna be something. I keep saying I'm rubbing my hands, man. It's just I'm salivating, man. I'm like, man, this shit sounds so good, but god damn it, they can also fumble the bag.
Now, my question for you, Trill, before you move on, do you think some of these items that we talked about, do you think it's gonna make it harder for some like the lower tier users for
Oh,
them
I
to
s-
catch a break? And on the
oh,
flip
I
side,
said it.
do you think we're gonna see a big difference in between some of the top users, like at
Now, I
the top
said
level?
this. I said this like way earlier in the pod about the pick up and play guys are gonna get left if they don't at least take a look into what's going on. If they just go into a game, no macros, no nothing, just go into a game and load up, they're gonna get murdered because there's so many new features in this game that they're adding, and it's crazy that you don't at least spend like 5 minutes just looking into it. Maybe let me set a macro or two. Let me look at these little formation shifts. Let me see the adjustments, just seeing things. Like you can't be a pick up and play user just based on what their EA's putting out so far. But for the top users, I think it's gonna be about who can adapt to their strengths the best. Like there's everybody has their strengths and weaknesses within the higher echelon of the users. So it's just about who can take advantage. Well, not take advantage sounds crazy, but who can use their strengths the best. I guess you could say it like that.
Yeah, I think what you said about the pick up and play guys is perfect because like it's gonna be a lot of experimenting, like you said earlier, just figuring out what works and what doesn't for you. So especially once we get like our team selected, that's gonna be another factor depending on how people are gonna approach everything.
Mhm. CJ said he gonna spam shifts. He gonna spam shifts in the RPOs. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
not.
surprised, man. I'm not surprised.
So this was like a slide of gameplay differentiation between that they had from college football to Madden. Just going through a couple of things quickly. So focusing on the Madden, like the sticks are going to be a little bit faster, tighter, more pro level, not as loose as college. We said that ourselves with the playbooks. Chess level strategy. coverage, more simulated pressure, smarter adjustments, trenches, gap integrity, AI plays better, and then the home field advantage, noise management, execution, under pressure, all that. But this is the big thing I want to talk about. Abilities. And this is going to be a big discussion. I'm interested to see how this is going to exactly work next Madden. So for college football, they had the stock abilities, max of 5, momentum factors, like we all know and love. But for the Madden, they said unlimited. Stars feel like stars. And I'm going to move on to the next slide here. And there's a couple of things going on with abilities this year. So, first of all, abilities are tiered. So, kind of like, 2K, whatever, you have your different Madden levels. For Madden, there is bronze, silver, gold. Those are the 3 levels. And you get, different things for each level of a certain ability of your players. And there's 2 things that are really sticking out. So, one, the unlimited. Basically, what that means is players don't have a limit on how many abilities that they're going to have. If a player has a high enough overall for a bronze ability, he's going to have that bronze ability. So there's just like it's unlimited, it's infinite. But on the other hand, and Shiro could maybe talk about this a little bit more. I don't know if any of you have all played NCAA, but archetypes are gonna matter. So no more with you picking a player and being like, oh, I'm gonna have this edge rusher just be the best run stopper in the world, or oh, I'm gonna move this linebacker's position so I can change his abilities or anything like that. Players' abilities are just based off their archetypes, so that's gonna take into account how much they weigh, their physicals, and then it's also just gonna count for their ratings, and that's gonna be the big part. It's just like their ratings, their attributes. So, do you kind of want to elaborate on that, Trill?
Yeah. Well, he kind of he kind of already went over it because I think a lot of people, yeah, they're gonna have like some 230-pound edge rusher in the trenches at the nose tackle stuffing runs, and like that's not really what they're meant. They're supposed to get to the quarterback, not stop the run and from the interior. So I think the fact that you have archetypes now, I do appreciate that, and it's unlimited. So get the 99. You got a super soldier. Once you get to that 99 range, since it's unlimited abilities. But the thing that's kind of I'm trying to figure out, they really didn't specify on it, is the X Factor superstar thing. Like, say you have a 99 overall player, but he's not X Factor or superstar. Is he gonna have the traits that he would have had if he was superstar X Factor? Because college football, you don't need to be traded or whatever, because it's like normal, impact, elite, or whatever. You don't need to be those higher tier trait levels in college football to have ability. You just have it based off overall. So I don't know how they're gonna do that for Madden. I don't know if it's still gonna be a superstar or an X Factor thing where you get traits, or is it just gonna be based off overall? They never really went over that.
That's exactly how I think it's going to be, Trill. So I've seen some gameplay videos. Like no one's covered abilities really, but I've seen where there are superstars and X factors, and I could be completely wrong about this because, like you said, they didn't really specify. But the way I'm kind of taking in everything is that players will still be superstars and X factors. Obviously, X factors will have the X factor ability, but I think and they'll still show whether they're superstar or X factor. But I think that may lean towards more of the side of it being like their development, possibly, and they'll show on the field of they have that superstar X factor thing. But I still wouldn't be surprised to see if you have an 82 overall wide receiver. He's like a star trait development, but hey, maybe he has a good route running. Maybe he has this bronze ability, kind of like what you said with how college football does it. I kind of think that's the way they're leaning towards, and that is the case. I'm interested to see how that's going to really play into things as we head into our franchise next year, since we have the 8 trait limit rule right now. First Madden that we did it, so we'll have to see how it actually works. But if that is the route they're going down, be a lot to discuss.
Oh yeah, because I mean you can't, because say you don't need to be traded to get abilities, then nah, that's gonna kind of put into question on how we're gonna go about the trade, or if that's the case, if you can still get abilities.
Yeah, I kind of
'Cause I
feel like
mean,
that
yeah,
you'd
you
have to
did
cut it maybe.
cut. You said cut it, cut the rule.
Yeah, like if like you can get
Oh,
abilities on
okay.
any players, like you might just have to cut the rule because you can't really
Oh,
police it.
okay. I got you. I thought you would said something completely different. Okay. Yeah,
No.
cut the rule. Yeah, you probably is going to have to cut the rule because you can't be like, oh, you got 8 superstars, but you got like 13, 14 people with traded abilities or whatever. Like you can't be like, oh, now I gotta take your overall down on those players so they don't have ability. You can't do that. That's crazy. So I think, well, we're gonna have to see. So I would say for right now, based on how I'm thinking, we might have to do away with the trade rule if if everybody is able to get abilities. Now, if it's only for superstar and X Factors, then yeah, we could keep it how it is.
Yeah,
But I just
yeah.
need to see how it works.
But I love the tier concepts. I think it's gonna work. But I think I'm just really excited about the archetype because I mean like it's interesting because you'll see people change abilities all the time, but now you can't have like we talked about earlier, just completely changing the way a defensive player plays just because of based off who you're going to be playing. Like that's not really realistic, to be honest. Like I think that this is a trend towards the right direction. Me personally,
Yeah. Yeah, man. The tiers, I do like the tiers too. That's something they could have implemented a while ago. Like they could have just copied 2K, to be honest. They could have been did that. Just had the tier, have a tier bronze, gold, silver. Maybe they could add a Hall of Fame down the line,
yeah,
for the very best.
I thought that they were just going to probably end up doing like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, kind of how they do coaching abilities right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's all still in we're gonna see, man. If I get my beta code, I'm gonna hit EA up. Like, hey man, where my beta code at?
There are still X factors, CJ. So like, um, I think like Josh Allen had it like on the screenshot I showed earlier, but like I saw gameplay and like Drake May had like a big X Factor. I don't know if he's worthy of being an X Factor, but he had a big X Factor logo underneath his feet. So there are, and I have also seen players with like the superstar logo as well. So like that's kind of like where we're confused because like the way they describe this sound like they're going towards more the college route, and the way they're presenting things seems like they're going more towards the college route. But then I still see like the X Factor and Superstar, logos under players' feet, and it kind of makes me think, is that just development base or like I don't know. So this is like the big question mark. But either way, alone with just the archetype, it's definitely gonna be a big change for a lot of users.
Yes, sir, man. Quarterbacks, pocket passers are gonna have pocket passing abilities, and then scramblers gonna have scrambling. It's not gonna be, oh, I'm gonna have a scrambling quarterback with a whole bunch of pocket passing abilities, or a pocket passer with a whole bunch of scrambling. It's kind of set at where they're at. So that's another thing that I can appreciate.
Yeah, and like Karkar just said, so people weren't confused. Like, if an ability is a higher thing, that doesn't mean that like that's how good that ability necessarily is. It just adds further buffs to what it is. So like, if you have like an enforcer, like they have a bigger hit stick window, say the first tier. Second tier, you might more likely to cause fumbles. You know what I mean? And the third tier, I don't know what there could be. Maybe like maybe it's really the fatigue. I know there's the morales or ability that's separate, or maybe it could just be like, more. I don't know. I really don't, but I don't know if you get what I'm saying with what I'm talking about with all of that.
It accumulates. You say that. I might have said that wrong, man. Don't clip me.
So, like, say if like you have a certain DB ability, like the first tier might be them, more likely to play the ball. The second tier would be like them more likely, to dive trying to play the ball. And then the third tier could be like them having like higher stamina if they get an interception. Like that's like the
Hmm.
most basic way I could put it without going into a specific ability. Like
Yeah.
it just adds
Well, let's
on.
see. Well, they did a example for like lurker. So bronze lurker, It unlocks jumping, interceptions, and diving swats. Silver has a elite tip ball reactions, and then gold gives you improved ball security on returns. And well, you said that for which ability did you say? Or
I
did you
was
just have the
Enforcer.
example? Enforcer.
I didn't even pull up our cheat sheet that we put together. I could have just used that.
Yeah, for lurker. So it's like it goes on to it's like a buff. Like bronze, silver, and then gold. It's like buffs that adds into it. It just adds on. So it's not necessarily progress. I guess it's not necessarily progressing, more of adding on top of what's
Yeah.
there.
So like Enforcer, for example, like bronze is increased hit stick success. Silver is the window in those time that hit sticks becomes more forgiving. Gold, you add a fumble chance bonus on top of everything else. So, but
Mm-hmm.
it is interesting though of like how since these are like professional athletes, how like unlimited and like I like your example, Trill, of like if you have a 99 overall defensive back, like the first person I'm gonna think of kind of in my head is Sauce Gardner. You have like Sauce Gardner on your team, he's probably going to have a lot of abilities, like him or Trent McDuffie, like, they're going to have a lot of higher overall abilities, even if like some of those abilities are just bronze, they're going to have that to where like you just have like a regular like 88 overall traded or, corner, whatever, he's not going to have as many abilities. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Trill, do you think if it ends up being from what I'm gathering, like we can't change players' abilities, which I hope that's the case, and I prefer to be the case. Do you think this is going to be a big change in how people are going to approach choosing their teams?
Yes, just based on how the systems, well, what they're showing us, anyways, based on how this looks like it's gonna end up being, I think it's gonna have a big change on how people approach picking teams. Because some people might want your quarterback to be one way, but he's stuck at where he got obviously get his overall up, but he's kind of stuck on how he's gonna play compared to me changing how he can play.
Yeah, so
I
like
don't know if that.
you can't take a Jalen Milrow, get his overall up, and then make him have all pocket passing abilities. It's just not going to work. I mean, unless you go
Yeah,
down that route of upgrading like his field general, like maybe, but I think his archetype might also kind of be preset a little bit in some ways. So
I wonder if you could change archetypes too, though. That might be like a commit setting though, to like where you edit a player, might be able to edit their archetype. That might, I don't know.
yeah, and that'd be a commission discussion. I thinking. Well, I'm probably going to end up getting the MVP membership, so I'm probably going to be part of the beta, and I'm going to definitely be exploring some of these things, and I'm more than happy to share my experience with everything.
Hmm.
So, be interesting to see, and
Yeah, man.
I'm really curious to see what Ruth thinks. So I can't wait to talk to him about it.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a fun conversation.
And then we brought it up earlier about X factors. If your player goes cold with the hot and cold composure system, you can't activate your X factor when a player's cold. And I'm really curious too, Trill. Do you think that some of those players may just like say if it's like a road game in the playoffs, you think some of them might start off with cold to begin with?
I don't think s- I don't think so
Since
unless
it's the
their morale's
pros.
down. Maybe man, I might have to do maybe with morale. Maybe if their morale's down, they
Yeah.
could start a game cold. I don't necessarily. I don't think they're gonna be cold off rip without a reason to be cold.
See a bottom user's team come out full of ice.
Again, yeah,
He's
10 game
he's
losing
throwing 30
streak.
interceptions on the year.
Yeah, 10 game losing streak. QB not doing shit. Yeah, the whole team fucking a bunch of Icemans. Yeah, so, yeah, man. Then you got the are we gonna talk about like the
We're moving on to
franchise
franchise.
side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so up next, we're going to be talking about some of the things that they discussed to franchise. Some of it's not going to be necessarily applicable to our league since, we do have salary cap turned off. But to kind of get us started, first of all, is that persona system and negotiation system. And this is going to be another commissioner discussion as well once we get in, the off season, since there's no more of like very player friendly or anything like that. So basically, every single player, and I think there's like over 60 different like attributes that they could have within their DNA. But basically, like it affects how they approach like first of all, like contracts and negotiations, which I mean, obviously we can offer them all the money in the world, so it may not be necessarily applicable. But I think it's going to have a bigger impact on like where free agents are going to sign once we get into the off season. And then we'll also talk about the whole out stuff here in a second, Trill. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are in just regards to like, the negotiation piece of things.
Well, I mean, just no salary cap, so it's not necessarily going to have that big of an effect until free agency, because we do need to find what the ground is going to be. Because I know we very player friendly. That's not going to be a thing no more. So it's going to be like, how are we going to find a baseline to give everybody a fair shake at certain players of free agency?
And I kind of feel like the only way maybe you could do that is just tell everybody you can go full on out. And I don't know if I necessarily have a slide in this, but another thing worth mentioning for off season. So rather than like the 4 waves that we all know and are used to, it's going to be what they call a 12-hour window, and you advance hour by hour. And it's kind of like this first like the first day free agency frenzy is basically what they're trying to replicate. And then like we were talking about it like in our pre-plan meeting, Trill, but we'll have to kind of see like how do we want to do it to where like the non-playoff users, do they get like the first 2 hours, 3 hours? Because you think of the hours as like a week. What I'm saying, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a sim, really.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to see how that works, because like it'd be interesting too to see if like some of the players like, and I don't know if it could be related to the persona, but maybe like they're unpredictable or something. Maybe they don't sign a deal off the gates. Maybe they hold off and wait. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know how any of this is gonna work. So
Well, they're gonna pull a college football and they're gonna hit you with the verbal commit and then say fuck you.
that'd be hilarious to see.
Hit you hit with the verbal and say, "Name fuck you. I ain't signing here."
Tell a player that they're signing with D. 2 sims later, be
Yeah.
like, Trill gave me
He
an
said
offer,
I had
man.
thought about it. He said I thought about it. I thought it for my career. My career. I don't know if I could do this.
And I will say, like, in terms of college football, from like my limited dynasty experience, like the different things like truly do impact like how college players will commit to you or not. Like, so I'm interested to see how that's going to go to free agency.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a new feature in college football with the verbal commit. And you could flip recruits. That wasn't a thing till this new one.
They had that last year.
Now you can flip recruits.
I'm pretty sure last college or the college, well, like players, I've had like in college football like previous ones where like I got a verbal commitment from a player, but he ended up going elsewhere. I've had that happen to me.
I have never done that.
I have had that. And Sand did that to me in the dynasty we had. I had some like the high overall DB gave me a verbal commitment, and next thing I know, next sim he's looking to go to Georgia. And I was like, what happened here?
Now you let insane go to Georgia is the first problem, right? That's the first mistake you had.
I was like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't know if it's necessarily like flipping, I guess, in the sense of what you're saying, but I have had like players like commit one way and change their change their decision before. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all we can do, man. That's all we can do.
Yeah, we'll talk about player holdouts here soon. We covered free agent frenzy, and then some other things that they added that may not necessarily impact us as much. Like restricted free agents. I wonder like
that might matter a little bit now. They didn't mention that. Did they mention comp? I don't think they mentioned comp.
But when I see restricted free agents, that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah, man, but you got people who don't even resign they don't even resign their players at all. They won't even look at they resign period.
And like with like some of the different tags you have available, like say like can I put it like a free agent to where like if somebody signs them, they have to give me their second round draft pick? With the RFAs, like
yeah, like I know what you mean by that. Yeah,
so not
but it's
necessarily
like
comp picks,
man,
but
no salary. It's no salary cap, so it's like man, I'm gonna keep that player. I don't want that pick. Keep my player.
but like say if I have a player like oh, I'm gonna let him walk, and then say someone's like oh I'm gonna sign him, just as a backup. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that's all going to necessarily work. Franchise tags, they've had that before, but they've also added transaction tags. I don't really know what the undrafted rookie free agent means. Maybe that's just going to be its own sim window, and that'd be kind of cool. Just like a sim for signing a bunch of undrafted free agents. And then they added a coach mode. We're not going to really go into that since that doesn't pertain to our league. That's just a new mode that they added. I am excited about the new weekly recap. We kind of talked about it, like me, Trill, and all of them, Willie. I just saw what Todd said. I hope everything's okay, Todd.
They adding more details to the recap.
Yeah, so they're going to cover an MVP discussion, who's in the hunt. There's a bunch of other things I can't really remember on top of my head. I'd have to pull up the article. I don't know if you remember, Trill.
I'd have to pull up the article to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now, actually. Sports. I guess when I'm pulling this up, some other things they added is they added real life NFL coordinators.
Yeah, it's a small thing, but it's also an appreciated one. I can appreciate that.
Here we go. So the weekly recap will now cover highlight plays, injury reports, MVP race, player of the week, playoff hunt, stat leaders, and trade alerts. So that's going to be something that we utilized some in the pod this year, but probably use that a little bit more, honestly. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we kind of slacking a little bit on the weekly recap on the pod too.
So last but not least, this is going to be really interesting. So now players, if they're unhappy with their current situation, they'll actually hold out or demand a trade. And Trill, you had a good point. Like, see if a lower tier user is not having a good season, are they going to have a star player that's going to hold out and demand a trade?
Yeah, demand a trade, but I'm not playing here no more. You're gonna have to cut me or try to do something.
Default wide receiver.
Yeah, that's gonna be I'm real intrigued on how that's gonna play out. I think especially for more of the lower tier guys who might not have like great seasons. Like I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, oh man, my best player on my team said he don't want to be here no more. He not playing for me no more. Like I wonder how that's gonna.
I mean, it could also
transpire.
happen on the flip side too, in some regards. So, like, if
yeah.
you're a good user, but say you're not,
And you're not utilizing.
Yeah, you're not giving a wide receiver enough targets. He may be like, I want the ball in my hands more. I don't feel like I'm valued here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hostage situations. To say that, man. Gonna be a whole lot of hostage situations.
Like Coach Rave, you're running the ball too much. I need the ball in my hands a bit more, man. I'm demanding a trade.
He's like, I'm a 90. He's like, I'm like a 95 overall, not getting the rock. He said, I'm out of here.
I will say they did add things. They did add to where like you can have discussions with the players and try to change their mind. So this is where it's going to really come into play, knowing your players' personalities. And on like top the personalities, they kind of changed like the lineup screen. So like I think like you still have like your regular depth chart screen if you want, but if you get to like the actual lineup screen, you'll also now see on a quick whim like you have like onto the side like all your star players like their personalities, But if you're like, navigating certain players, moving them up and down the depth, like, the lineup, it'll show on their card, it'll show like, 3 of their main personalities and things of that nature. So it'll be really interesting to see, people really know how their players are. I'm hoping too, like, it won't be vague as much as it is a franchise now, to where it's like a player wants to have a discussion with you. Like, I hope I know who it is so I can kind of plan for a little bit. Otherwise, it might be like I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be the person to go overboard and write to the side, like write on a piece of paper, get a spreadsheet, and be like, some of these players' personalities. I'm not trying to go in and lose a wide receiver, to be honest with you. So,
because I know, like for NHL, like they do have I guess for the rookies, like coming into the class, you can see what their personality is, and whatever their personality, like depends on if they're gonna say, "Oh, I need to be on the first line," or "I need to be them out of here," or whatever. I know EA's done it before to make personalities matter. So I think it definitely could. They definitely got something if they use it right.
So it's definitely going to be interesting, and it may not be as extreme as we're thinking it's going to be. But
oh yeah, it could be real minor, and just like, man, yeah, it could just be there just to be there type. Yeah,
it'd be crazy though. Like week 3 or week 4 of the first season, somebody as a player start holding out.
nah, it's not gonna be that early. Can't be that early, man. We got people wanting out already. At least let the morale go down
start
first.
1-3.
He's like, I got 2 targets. I got 2 targets. I'm out of here.
He's like, man, I'm 33. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. He traded to a real contender. So that's really all we have for franchise. And then I think the last thing to just kind of cover is going to be presentation in the game. So like we talked about earlier, there's dynamic weather. They also add to where it's more authentic. So like a West Coast game, that's be 5 o'clock local, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock. It's gonna still be daylight out. It's not gonna necessarily be night already. Like kind of just adapting things like that. Making it a little bit more realistic atmosphere. They updated the presentation of things like the commentary crew and all that. I guess in the regards of like there's like new holiday themes is the best way I could put it. So like if you're playing on Thanksgiving, it's gonna be like there's this whole special like broadcast for like a Thanksgiving Day game, Christmas, like whatever.
Cause they don't do that now. I don't think they don't got anything for like Christmas, Thanksgiving. They don't got it for any holiday.
And they used to have this like Madden 12. I remember like feels like a Christmas game. Like they would have like Christmas lights on the score bug. So like even if something
to just identify that it's the holiday, something because even 2K do that. 2K got something for all the holidays.
Yeah, so it's just kind of fun thing. And they also added to where like your stadium will change if you're like running a certain reskin uniform. So like they use the example of say like you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you're running the creamsicle uniforms. Like they'll actually shift the in stadium logo that's shown in the field and all of that to be towards that reskin. Or let's say if like you're the Bengals, I'd assume say if you're doing a whiteout, like the logo is going to change white. You know what I mean? Just small stuff like that. And I kind of do like that. I don't know, just a little bit more like what's the word I'm trying to look for?
I mean, you could say more realistic to the uniforms that you got.
Yeah. You're kind of just more like I don't know, like into the game, I guess. There's a specific word I'm looking for, but I'm blanking on it. But
authentic? I don't know.
Inverse. Is that it?
Oh, inverse. I think that works.
Just a little bit more inverse into the game. But and they added some other things. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time going over them. There is articles on their website kind of going into the different things, but like, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, like some of the games though, it's like, like with us being a multi-user league, some of the things aren't going to really affect us. Like halftime show, like we don't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Man, he's talking, man. He's speaking to himself. He's speaking for himself, man. Give me my halftime show, man. I'm trying to.
I mean, it'd be cool, but like, I'm pretty sure it's probably just gonna be skipped as we go into the lead and all
man.
that.
Not in Triple Twan's game, man. You know, you see me, man. We've seen that halftime show, man. Talking about.
And then
I gotta
another
see
thing
that.
that they added too is like year-over-year authenticity. So like I mean like there's the NFL honors. I think they added something like that. But I think they've also added something to where like it's supposed to kind of pick up more like over season for like more detailed rivalries. So, say like if there's two division rivals that keep having close games every year. It's supposed to kind of pick
Mhm.
up on that and more likely the next year kind of talk about how like like these two teams are rivals, or these two teams met in the playoffs last year in the divisional round, and something like that. So hopefully that works as advertised, because that'd be kind of just a small
Oh, that'd
you
be
know
that small thing, but yeah, just acknowledge.
yeah, like these two teams met in the AFC Championship last year. It was a close one. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah,
I don't
because I
know.
don't think they got anything like that now.
I'm sure it's
Really
probably
talk.
all going to be driven off AI, but I'm okay with that. I think it's a great use for AI personally. So.
Yeah, man, like all these, they played in the playoffs this year. Let's talk last season. Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, you have anything else you kind of want to talk about with the new Madden show?
Man, EA need to hit me up for that code, man. That's all I got to say. Get that code.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm probably. I know Insane and I, we already did the survey, make it more likely that we'll get a code for the beta. But like I said, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pay it and get the EA membership, because I was gonna get both games anyways. I mean, like him and I, we game share, so we should both get the games. I don't think we both get the beta code, obviously, but that would like secure my spot in getting a beta code. So
Yeah, fucking insane. That's what I just heard just now.
no,
That's what I just heard. He said, "Fuck
I
you and
mean
your
he could buy
beta,
it.
man."
I don't care which one of us buys it, but we're gonna get it. But the beta starts, soon. I think the June 11th. I think the code. I think like
I
the
think
code
next
beta
week.
that they gave was like June 14th or something. But um, June 11th, I think, starts if you get the EA membership. Karkar said, I don't know if they changed this or not, but I hope they change the way you can upgrade your players. What do you mean by that necessarily, Karkar? You talking about like upgrading just like kind of like how NCAA, if like Road to Glory, for example, like certain players have like certain like different categories where you would like more specific categories you'd upgrade, or and like maybe like some of those categories are capped based on the player's archetype. Is that what you're talking about? He said, yeah. So I think that'd be kind of cool. So kind of like going back to the Jalen Miller example, like he's a scrambling quarterback. You can't just you can't evolve him into a pocket passer like that, because he is who he is throughout his entire career, from college to coming to the pros. I think I'd like that.
Yeah, like the holes in their game needs to be their holes. They can't just all of a sudden be their strength now.
And I'd be interested too to see how this is going to impact like the road draft classes.
Yeah, I
But
hear that.
overall, I'm excited for the next Madden.
Oh yeah, man. EA and they bad, man.
Can't wait to get my hands on the product.
I gotta get the beta first. I at least need the beta, or I need somebody like first-hand experience who had the beta to tell me what's good, what's good. That's what I need.
Mm-hmm. And like you stressed it a couple of times. People aren't going to just be able to pick up and play like how they had before. So there's a
I mean,
lot
you
more
could pick
things
up.
that I
No,
mean
all
you
right, you
can,
could
but
pick up and play, but you have to know. You also have to be in the know. You can't just be pick up and play and not know anything. You know the new features they had. You still gonna have to take a look at what's going on.
Card. Do you like the college beta so far? I don't know how much of you've actually played.
Yeah, man. Why not? Hey, ask EA why I ain't get a code, man. Why you got it?
Another thing too, we'd have to. He said, "Yeah, I like it. I've been on Road to Glory a lot." Yeah, it's usually the mode I play most of the time whenever I play into it myself. I know they've added some stuff to that. One thing I'm interested to see if Ro would be down for it is like I don't think Ro's gonna want to import dynasties, of course, but there's also a new college coach archetype in Madden, where basically your coaching career no longer has to end at the college level. The college coach archetype knows that you played dynasty mode this year in college and will unlock a special coach archetype when you start your career in franchise mode. That includes special coach abilities and play sheets that you cannot unlock with any other coach archetype in franchise mode. This connection between college football and Madden is something the community has been vocal about, and this is a major first step towards making the crossover feel seamless. I don't know if Ro's going to go allow that, but
Why
that'd be
not,
kind of
man?
cool.
Okay, we allowed to have real life coaches, nigga. So shit, might as well.
Yeah, it's true. Someone gets started off with a maxed out coach. Why can't I bring my coach from college?
Yeah, man. If I could have a maxed out coach, why the hell can I not have a coach from college? You ever got to be maxed out or not? That, that would be picking and choosing.
And then, like, I was sounding insane. Honestly, me personally, yeah, you do got signed up for the play testing. I got an email and I just had to fill out a survey. They sent me like 4 or 5, so I feel like they're gonna give me a code regardless for Madden. But you just fill out a
You
survey and
say that
basically sign up for the
now.
play testing. Yeah, knock on wood. But oh, where was I going? I already forgot what I was talking about. Oh, I was telling insane. I'm just happy that the franchise screen is different. It's not as
You
simple as
said it in
that.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, something different.
like they have all these changes, but franchise mode from like the screenshots and everything I've seen, like it's completely different like outlook, and you know, I like that a lot. I mean, it's something different at least. I think for the better. So, but yeah, we'll see everything that happens with this Madden. But I don't really have anything else personally to cover.
Yeah, I think we went over just about everything that mattered, at least for
Our
Pro League
franchise,
topic.
yeah. So definitely looking forward to it. Game comes out, I think, officially standard edition August 17th. I'm kind of hoping that maybe, we'll see what, Road thinks, but with us all getting 4 seasons in this Madden, kind of hoping maybe we could start a little bit earlier in September, personally, but
Well, yeah, that's how we fucking only got the 4 this year because we started late.
and so I'm kind of hoping, maybe we start like first or second, probably more second, but like second week of September. Fingers crossed. That'd be
Well,
my personal.
we're gonna be done with this last season probably by early to mid August. So I mean,
Yeah.
last time we didn't end till like the fucking last day. I think we finished like August 30th, but something close to there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're
I,
gonna
I think the year
be
before
done
we
by.
actually leaked into September or something like that. I could be wrong, but it's always funny seeing people like, you get all the people that are out in the playoffs and all that already playing the next game, and you still have other people like,
Yeah, they already deleted the game, man. They already deleted it. They're like, man, on to the next one. And man, people still in the playoffs. They got the game, but they fucking can't even. They stuck playing Madden, the other Madden, because they're in the playoffs and shit.
hmm like you can play the other one some, but it does kind of mess you up going back and forth
It messes,
between
yeah,
them.
because it's different gameplay, different
hmm
shit. Yeah, I mess with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good episode. I'm wondering if Willie's winning his game or not.
Yeah, he said his stream not working, so we can't even see it.
And, all right. Natural microphone.
Thank you for listening to the RoShow League Podcast Network.